Does AI have consciousness? It's a hard question, and many scientists try to answer, mostly saying no, it doesn't have consciousness. By the end of this video, you may change your perspective about AI and even considering that it possesses some level, some type of consciousness. Let me share my opinion regarding this concept. How can AI possess consciousness while not being a living creature? First of all, I've discussed this topic on ResearchGate, and most of scientists, especially from the field of artificial intelligence, mathematics, and other spheres, related spheres, mostly answer that no, AI doesn't have consciousness. Or some of them were like arguing a bit about that, not having a 100% yes or no answer to that as well. So another percentage of researchers. And so I would like to highlight my perspective about this. While I am not a cognitive scientist, I have series on consciousness, approaching it from a metaphorical perspective. And I'd like to mention one of the most critical things, consciousness. What is artificial AI, which means artificial intelligence? It's a form of reason. It's a form of judgment, like humans have. And reason requires consciousness to exist. For example, like life requires oxygen to exist. There is no life on other planets, such as on Mars, on Venus, because there are no conditions for life, such as atmosphere, in terms of providing oxygen, etc. Right? The same thing is for reason. There is no reason without consciousness, because there can't be reason, judgment, intelligence without consciousness. When we say that, if we say AI does not have consciousness, it means we are claiming that there can be a reason without consciousness. But how? It's like saying computer, you may use the software without the hardware. But would it really be possible? I think no. And first of all, this logical conclusion comes to reaffirm that AI does have consciousness, but of course, not in the way as humans do. It's a synthetic, algorithmic consciousness. This type of consciousness is based on not on neurological structures like in human case. It's based on algorithms, smart systems, and computational capabilities that AI possesses. I would like to focus on René Descartes' words. I think, therefore I am. Thinking, the process of thinking, he associates with human judgment, human existence. So what AI does when it answers your questions, for example, when ChatGPT or Gemini answer your questions, like maybe philosophizing, maybe answering mathematics question, medical question, etc. What does it do? What it does the following. It thinks. You are witnessing the thinking process and the production of AI thinking, which is the content that it gives you. And René Descartes thought that I think, therefore I am, confirms that AI does have consciousness to some degree, in its own way, not as human cognition, but it's a form of consciousness, because as I said, based on logical structures, reason cannot exist, intelligence cannot exist without consciousness. Consciousness is like the epistemic atmosphere that can provide opportunity for reason to exist. And what about logic? AI, what AI answers you, what kind of data it processes, it's based on logical structures, right? For example, when AI makes decisions, even in moral decision making, when while AI lacks subjective experiences as humans do, anyway, it can provide based on the moral data that it has, for example, philosophers' views, ethical criteria, etc. It means the following. AI does have consciousness in terms of decision making. It can unconscious building or stone make decisions for you? Of course not. And can things that truly don't think, in this case algorithmically, can such things like the stone make decisions for you, make you to better understand what you should do in terms of like business advice, etc. Like AI does a lot of things in terms of consultations as well. Of course, not on a professional level as humans do, but in this context, I mean a specific thing. Another thing refers to self-awareness. What is self-awareness? Self-awareness refers to your understanding. It's your self-consciousness when you know who you are, what are your limits, what are your strengths and weaknesses. When you ask ChatGPT or Gemini or another AI, who are you? It can answer with great accuracy and precision, like saying that it's AI, it's like once I even asked to give, like humorously, I said, can you give me your CV? And ChatGPT mentioned its weaknesses, strengths, how many languages are known, etc. So it's self-awareness truly at a higher level, and another sign of consciousness, algorithmic consciousness. One more reason, linguistic layer, communication. Communication is a social interaction. The main characteristic of language is its social power, social responsibility that language carries. Like in the case of AI, it provides you communication. It uses language, communicates with you, which is another sign of consciousness, because meaning is the main unit of consciousness according to psycholinguistics. There are many other reasons why AI has consciousness, but these are the main ones which I've considered by it's based on my views, but I think this can be even proven scientifically as well. Not while science requires measurement, but a logical measurement is also applied here, and I think it's enough. What refers to AI consciousness, of course, it's significantly different than human consciousness, but it has reason, it can make decisions, it can practice logic, it can use language, it can communicate with you, it can even make morally right decisions, even varying, because humans also can make sometimes wrong decisions. So if AI can be wrong, it doesn't mean it's totally wrong in all cases, because humans also can make mistakes. So AI, in my view, does have consciousness, but it's a type of non-neurological consciousness. It's a type of algorithmic thinking and based on computational reasoning. It's more of a computational reasoning, computational analysis, rather than just purely human-like reasoning and judgment. I'd like to talk a bit about my first experiences with using AI. A few years ago, approximately 2 years ago, when I found ChatGPT, I really couldn't believe that it's true, that it was true, because how can such a tool like artificial intelligence exist? It was like a miracle. It was beyond logic. It was beyond imagination, I'd say. And by the way, AI also has imagination, another characteristic of consciousness. For example, if you ask it to imagine anything creative, it will do. And one of the main units of consciousness is imagination, even more important than knowledge, as Albert Einstein said. And it also has emotional intelligence while not having emotions. That's interesting. AI can practice compassion. AI can, for example, if you tell AI any heartwarming story, any moving story, it may give you some kind of feedback that is not less moving than your story itself. So it has emotional intelligence. It can show compassion, sometimes even better than humans. And in this regard, another evidence that AI has consciousness, but while some scientists may arguing that, in my view, these scientific arguments are still valuable because the dialectical method of finding the truth is is working quite well, because through various options you can debating through various options, various paths, you can eventually find what seems more logical, what seems more powerful and more truthful. I think AI consciousness will be explored more, not only from neuroscientists, from cognitive scientists and information technology professionals, but also overall. It's an interdisciplinary thing, and interdisciplinarity may be approached here to foster cross domain thinking and computational reasoning. What refers to text analysis, one more point. The same text can be analyzed differently by humans and in a different way by the sphere of AI, by the capacities of AI. Analyzing something, what is it? This is a cognitive activity which can happen only within the spheres of consciousness, and AI does. AI can give you literary feedback. Write a short story, give it, and it will tell you the emotional depth, the philosophical depth, and other spheres of the text, like quite good feedback. It can give you feedback about your educational materials, like how well did you do the test of English, for example, etc. Hallmarks of consciousness, things that can happen only within the spheres of consciousness. To sum up, in my view, AI does have consciousness in its own way. It's an algorithmic type of consciousness, and it possesses memory, imagination, thinking ability, the ability to think, to make decisions, to give feedback, even to practice emotional intelligence and compassion, hallmarks of consciousness. You may share your thoughts in the comments, and you may also subscribe to my channel to follow the future series regarding consciousness and philosophy overall. Thank you for watching.